Hello and welcome to Tetra Football. I'm George. I'll be joined by Joe, Tom, Ryan, and today we're doing our reactions to Premier League match week 3. Ryan, what was the first game?
Well, the first game of the weekend was the Tottenham Wolves game. Joe, I believe you got that one right.
Yeah, I've watched the
Tottenham
whole thing.
fan got it right.
What was your prediction?
1-0 to Spurs, and it ended 1-0 to Spurs. To be honest, I knew that Wolves are a side which you're not going to be scoring many goals against Wolves. No one ever does because they've got they play at the 5 at the back, and it's just hard to break them down. But I think
They don't play a 5 back anymore. They don't play 5 back anymore now.
But in the second half, we came through, we broke through, we were more attacking. I think that Perisic and Kulusevski were key parts of that, and we got lucky to take all 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted 2-0 Tottenham, but I do have to say I think Wolves were unlucky to not probably get a draw out of that game. If they just had a proper striker that could score, I think they would have been alright and been able to get a draw. But personally for me, I do want to say I think Nathan Collins was brilliantly at the back. I think I'd argue he was man of the match for that game. Ryan, me and you watched it, would you?
I mean, yeah, Nathan
He was
Collins.
pretty good, wasn't
he was controlling the defence, but I would actually have to give Perisic man of the match for me. It was actually arguably the best player up for that Tottenham side and on the whole pitch. Really controlled and dominated the Tottenham side, helping them get that victory.
Yeah, that's fair.
I went with 2-0. I got it slightly wrong with a goal, but
Still got 1 point then.
yeah, I got 1 point, but I
Like
got
me.
3 points. But I think who played well, Collins, definitely had a good game. I think Hoiberg played alright. I think he had a quite good
Especially for
performance.
someone of Hoiberg's
Had a good
quality.
performance. Because Kane got the goal. I mean, you say about Wolves as a striker, but I think Guedes just needs to get used to it. Cause
he
I
did
doubt
look
they're
good.
going to get another
I think,
striker when they got Jimenez and Guedes.
Mateus Nunes as well didn't have a bad start as well.
Yeah, he nearly
Yeah.
scored with that header.
He did,
actually.
he did. But Lloris
Still
again.
young.
So
shone through.
there was a lot of promise for Wolves.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan, what was your prediction?
Well, I went for 3-0 Tottenham. I think Tottenham should have probably got another goal. Probably not 2 more goals, but I don't think it should have ended 1-0 for Tottenham. I just think they're such a promising side with the sign-ins, and they've just got to be doing better against.
Well, I
a
do
Wolves
think
side.
if you say that maybe Tottenham should have scored more, you should say that Wolves maybe should have scored more as
Definitely,
well,
but I
you
think
say that they've got to do better with what they have, but to be honest, I think Conte wasn't aiming for a massive win there, and as well, Wolves are,
and
a very difficult
at
team
the
to
end of the
get
day,
any goals
3
against.
points is 3 points.
Exactly, yeah,
No
exactly.
matter how you get
It
them.
wasn't too convincing, but in the second half, I'd like to see them do signings do well.
Tottenham got 3 points, Joe got 3 points in this predictions league, and we'll move on to the next game, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace.
Well,
Joe, are you gonna go
the
first?
stinker, this one.
You start.
I said Villa 2-1. I think Stevie G, he's probably going to be the first one to go out. I mean, Lampard is his fierce rival. Probably could go out at the same time, but Stevie G for me is just, he's poor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got such a talented Villa side, wouldn't you
Gets
say?
a lot of injuries,
And
though, those players.
yeah, but you've brought in Diego Carlos. You've
Injured.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You've got Coutinho. You've got
Yeah.
Kamara.
But he doesn't
Kamara.
play Coutinho.
You've
It's
got
his issue.
exactly. You've got so much talent, and it's
I think
just
he's
not
trying
getting them to perform.
I think at least for the start of the season, he's trying to figure out what works with all this new players.
Yeah.
But I do want to touch on what you said about Gerrard as a manager. It's actually quite shocking. He was brilliant at Rangers,
But
but
that's Rangers.
his win
Of course,
percentage,
the Liverpool fan
No.
defending is.
he was good at
Gerrard.
Rangers. You can't
But
deny
that's
that.
Rangers.
No, you
How
didn't
can
let
you
me finish.
not
You
win at
didn't,
Rangers?
you didn't let me finish. And the difference is with at Villa,
John's
he's
not
got
gonna be
this,
too happy.
he's got almost the exact same win percentage as Gary Neville at Valencia, which everyone knows he didn't have a great time there, did he?
It was awful,
So
wasn't it?
it's not looking good for Gerrard at the moment. And I do hope he can turn it
What's
around.
your
but
prediction?
I predicted 2-0 anyway, so I was even more
who?
wrong than Ryan. To Villa. I was even more wrong than...
I also went for 2-0
Right.
to Villa.
He did.
So ending
Think you did
3-1
as well,
to
Tom?
Palace.
And no, we were 1-1 for that game.
I mean, I
don't
think we
anyone
all
even mentioned the actual score yet.
Yeah.
3-1 to Palace, so we were actually
we all
horrifically wrong.
criminally
They
underrated
were wrong.
Crystal Palace. I
We
believe.
did.
Apart
Vieira
from
is a
Son,
class
to be
manager,
fair.
though. I
Yeah,
think-
Vieira is really coming to improve himself.
Yeah.
Tom, elaborate on your 1-1.
I think I should have went higher up. I still rate the Palace side, even though I'm a Brighton side. I think Zaha is. I think he's always been
He's
that
looked very
player.
good so far this season.
He's
to be
never
fair.
been able to make that big move in a sort of way. He's always been at Palace. I think he's
Yeah.
scored a
I
goal.
think his
or
attitude's the only thing holding
I think
him
he
back.
likes being the star player at Palace at the same time, though.
Possibly the weakest game on paper was the next one, wasn't it? Everton v Nottingham Forest, and it ended 1-1. Who's going to start?
wanna start, Ryan?
Thomas.
I think I'll start with that one. I went with 1-0 to Nottingham Forest because I just think they have spent a lot with their likes of Emmanuel Dennis. And I think they've just got a lot of players in. If they're going to gel together is another question, but because of they beat West Ham the game before, I just think they're just going to do very well this season.
Ryan, what did you think
Well,
of that game?
I went for 2-0 to Everton. It ended 1-1. I mean, not a bad result for either team, to be fair. But I just thought Forest got a lot of new signings. I just didn't think they would have time to gel so early onto the season. I mean, I think it's 16 now with the addition of Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, 44.5 million,
He's a good
including
player. Steve Cooper
add-ons.
worked with him before
For that,
as well,
I mean,
so.
it's too much money. I mean, they're spending the cash to try stay in the league, and I think they've
They
got a genuinely good chance at staying in the
I
league.
think
But
they'll be decent.
Joe, what did you go for?
I correctly predicted the result, but not the score. I went with 0-0. I think that
The draw.
Right. Everton will be unhappy at the fact that they didn't manage to get all 3 points at home, and that it took a late winner from Damari Gray. Well, not winner, a late equaliser from Damari Gray to actually even get any points on the table at home against a newly promoted team, which you wouldn't favour. But
One thing I do have to admire from the Forest side is Steve Cooper. He's really getting his
They're
players
fighting
to
for it.
gel together. He's just, I believe he's getting his squad that he wants, and a squad that they can survive and even perhaps push for the top half of the table.
survive
Yeah,
in
well-
dry conditions.
Yeah. Well, for me anyway, I did predict a 2-1 Nottingham Forest win. After watching them against West Ham, I thought they did look like an impressive team. However, I wasn't massively convinced by their defence, so I thought even though Everton don't have a striker, they might still manage to get a goal, but I thought Nottingham Forest would be better. I did think that it looked like the signings were gelling quite well against West Ham, so I still thought they'd do quite well. And yeah, they did get a goal, but were unfortunate to concede late on, so they couldn't get the win. I predicted.
Well, the
5-goal thriller.
next game, Fulham versus good old Brentford. I mean,
3-2 it was.
3-2 in the end, and I think Brentford, they've had a stinker. I mean,
What way?
they beat Man United 4-0.
That's Man United when they were.
But you lose in the last minute. Imagine how demotivating
Yeah,
it
obviously,
is.
but you're acting like Fulham were bad.
They're not-
and have been
they're not
bad
like-
throughout the season. They
Yeah,
have
they're not bad, but if you're beating United, you've probably
Fulham
got to
haven't
be
lost a game this season. They're
Fulham.
unbeaten.
I think you analyse what results teams have got before to too much to what their next result was. I think you got to just, it's the Premier League. These results happen all the time.
It's the thing with United. They beat a team 2-1 yesterday against Liverpool, and then they can lose 4-0 to Brentford, and they could do it next week. They can get hammered by Forest. You know what I mean?
I
It's
just
the
think,
Premier League. Anything can happen. You can't really rely on previous results to.
yeah, but when you've got the likes of Mitrovic saying that Tony looks up to him, I just think
Well,
he's
you'll
got
have,
too much of an ego to really.
But he
you need that confidence, though.
and he
to
kind
be
of does have.
quality.
I guess you could say has the experience to back it up. Mitrovic. Yeah, he is a top goal scorer.
I just think Fulham, they've started it perfectly. I mean, obviously I got it completely wrong saying 3-0. What you go for, Tom?
I think I went for 2-0 Brentford. I think I might have rated them too highly due to the Man United game, and also probably underrated Fulham because we've seen them draw to like Liverpool as well. They've still got some good players in like Pereira and I think Mbabu. I think he was at Wolfsburg before. He's always been a very good player.
Wait,
So
sorry, who did you go 3-0?
3-0 to Brentford.
Oh,
Completely wrong.
Yeah,
to be
well,
honest.
I was agreed with Tom. I did go for 2-0 Brentford, and I mean Brentford still scored 2 goals. The problem was they let 3 in at the other end.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I think because of the
Might as well
United.
give you 3 points.
Yeah,
you
well-
know?
Well, no, for United game, I was like, they're not going to do that well. They're not going to start beating everyone 4-0, but I thought they'd at least be high on confidence. I thought they'd just be motivated and they'd get on a good run of games, but that didn't really happen. Obviously,
I think they
Fulham
got a
stopped
bit
that.
cocky.
I guess one thing we all forgot as well was that it was at Craven Cottage, so Fulham
Yeah.
probably did have that
True.
Had home
advantage.
advantage as well.
Yeah, and I went for 2-1 to Brentford. So we all went for
You
Brentford.
said a side to score 2 goals. I said a side to score 3 goals. Let's all just get 3 points.
Yeah, might as well.
Treat ourselves.
But, didn't turn out their way, and Fulham won.
And the next game was Southampton versus Leicester. I believe that ended 2-1 Southampton. Shea Adams got 2 goals. Ryan, what did you have?
Not happy because me and Joe, we agreed on a 1-1 draw, and it should have ended 1-1.
Well, it should.
It probably should have ended.
In what way?
Ryan,
Because
I admit we were wrong.
It wasn't a dodgy decision, but Leicester and Southampton are just too equally matched for a side to win for me.
Can we just have some honesty? Did either of you two watch this game? Because I didn't.
No, because it was.
No, I didn't watch.
Oh yeah, 3 o'clock.
I
So
watched.
You wouldn't have watched it. You don't.
We don't
some
condone
highlights on
illegal
Match of the Day.
streams.
You don't condone
No,
illegal shit.
none of those.
But it was at Leicester as well, was it? So to lose
Yeah.
poorly at the King Power Stadium, that's quite shocking.
It's looking worrying for Leicester and they need to sign someone. They're like one of the
I mean,
only
they
teams to
did
not
have-
sign anyone across the whole world.
They did
Like,
get Jamie Vardy's contract into 2024 now. I mean, could be quite promising.
I think they've signed one player.
They haven't signed anyone still, I don't think.
They've
unless they
got
brought
Danny
someone in.
Ward in goal, so you always know that's a bit worrying
Yeah,
when
that's
you've got
not
him.
a shaky. But Tom, what did you go for?
I went with 2-1 Leicester. I kind of weighted Leicester side quite highly, really. Even though they have had some bad results in recent games, really. But, I mean, some of the players might be out the door. I think that might be a question. And the main problem is they need to get some more transfers in, really. And maybe a new centre-back. I think Fofana might go. But
Yeah,
Well,
I think they kind of want to get rid of
Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, they kind of want to get rid of Fofana. I've heard Leicester fans complain about his attitude, so I think they kind of want to get rid of him
To be
and get that
fair-
sort of like poisonous attitude in the changing room out the system. Really,
I just. Do you see Madison going to Newcastle? I can't see it happening now.
you never know.
No,
They need
right
that.
into
They
the
need
World
that
Cup.
one marquee signing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I don't think Leicester will let him leave because they haven't signed
So
anyone.
that was a 1-1. What did you go?
I haven't talked about mine yet. I predicted 1-0 Southampton, so I was the only one to get a point out of that game. Yeah, I went for the Southampton win. I did say it would be a shock if they won. I think it was. Shea Adams, obviously, 2 goals, a great
Off
game
the bench
for him.
as well.
And
Great game for him. Great sub. And
Tom, what
yeah,
did
He went
Leicester-
2-1 to
to
Leicester.
Leicester.
So yeah, I'm happy with that predictions. I've been backing Southampton quite a lot in these predictions, and it came off this time, so I'm quite happy with
So
that.
the late Saturday kickoff was at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3.
Give me
It's fine.
all-
All
Right.
I
We all
have to
predicted
say
3-0.
is we should all buy some lottery tickets because we were right on the numbers with this one because we all went for 3-0 to Arsenal and guess what happened?
3-0
3-0
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Good thing Jesus' goal got disallowed.
Yeah. I mean, many FPL owners were quite frustrated at that without having him in their
Saliba,
team,
what
but
a
we
goal
were
though.
happy. I mean,
Saliba's finish.
Have you all seen that finish
Didn't
from
actually watch it now.
From a centre back as
I
well.
And-
don't watch
think-
Arsenal.
curled right into
I
the
think that
top
was a weak
corner?
foot. I think that was weak foot as well.
I don't know, but I mean, all I'm saying about that goal is Zinchenko's reaction tells you all. I mean, what a goal, especially from a centre back.
It looked exactly like a goal I scored
And
in real
he's
life last
not
season.
had much experience in the Premier League, and he's already looking like a top talent for the
And
future.
I think it was Arsenal's own mistake to keep sending him out on loan, to be honest. I think they really... What, he's like 20.
He's not 20.
He's like 21.
He's not 21.
Saliba, he is like
Oh,
21.
I
Before you
don't
go
know.
on
Tw-
I thought you
25
said-
is still quite young,
I
to
thought
be
you said
fair.
Zinchenko. I was going to
No.
say.
No, not
But
Zinchenko.
Saliba, yeah, he's a good young centre back. I think Arsenal were kind of stupid in a way to keep learning him out. They should have got him in the
I
squad
think it might
before
work
this.
out, really.
And,
I mean, it
in the
did
end,
work
it's worked out
out.
anyway.
Three
but
points all round.
I
all
think
of us,
3
don't
points for all of us. 3-0
I mean,
Arsenal.
Joe,
They're looking
did
really
you-
good at the moment.
Did
Top
you
of
get
the
to
league.
see much of the game?
Well, the Arsenal one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have Sky, so no. But
I think it was a good game because saw it on Sky and I think it was a good game. I still think the
Mocking Joe
defence.
there.
I think the defence is sometimes a little bit shaky.
you're
But-
mocking me.
Yeah.
No, just because you said he has Sky, it's not
No,
mocking him,
Time to
right?
mock you then, Ryan, because you lost.
Well, yeah,
3-0
next game
to
Leeds beat Chelsea 3-0. Go on,
Yeah,
then,
talk
Ryan.
about
Start us off.
Talk about it.
No.
He's refusing to talk. Okay, Ryan, what did you predict at least?
4-0
Yeah.
to Leeds. No, to
But
Chelsea.
Joe-
No, he went with his own team.
But-
4-0
What's-
Chelsea.
I mean, I
What's
went.
your excuse?
That can I say that was
Right.
a 7-goal
If you're going to say
difference
2
between
points on
what
the
you
sidelines, he was.
All I'm saying is, yeah, he was on the sideline,
That
but he
wouldn't have
couldn't
changed
have
much,
done
I'm sorry.
anything.
That
Could
wouldn't
he?
have changed anything.
What do you mean? He could have talked to his players. He could have sorted it out.
We could
But
not
you know
done
what really
contact, right?
infuriated me from Thomas Tuchel? Blaming playing issues. I mean, oh, what? It's like Klopp when he's complaining about the grass.
We don't need to talk about
You
it.
can't make some excuses for quite frankly, a poor
I feel like we're
performance.
going to see a lot of complaining from the big six managers this
Yeah,
season
definitely,
because
yeah.
the competition in the Premier
It's
League as a
spicy,
whole
yeah.
seems a lot better.
I
So
think
they're
this season we finally
going to be
will
whipping
see-
out the excuse book.
I
Trying
think
to
we
find
will
out
see
whether they
Guardiola
can.
exposed as a fraud.
I just don't
A
think.
bit.
I don't think you can. If you're a manager, you shouldn't be making excuses. You should actually acknowledge your players were poor.
Yeah. They can't do that now.
If-
so
if you-
demotivate their own
I
I
players.
don't
Exactly.
care if it demotivates your players. It will demotivate your players, but at least they know they were poor in that game.
I'd rather be
Tom, what did you go for?
I went with 3-1 for this, but I think the main issue is what was Mendy doing on that goal?
Oh, yeah,
Um,
what?
I mean, I think that's the main issue there.
Well, Leeds still scored 2 other good
Yeah,
goals,
I
and
think
realistically,
Leeds-
just like
well,
Brentford
no,
v United,
one was.
If you watched our
set
goalkeeper
piece.
tier list,
Yeah.
go back and watch when he was claiming that Mendy should be in God tier, and now look at it. What a
Yeah,
joke.
right, it's just one
Claiming you
mistake.
should
We
be in
don't-
God tier.
we don't need to talk about that. Actually, you guys are going to start a little argument for the next
Joe,
10
what
minutes.
did you go for this game?
And I went 5-2 to Chelsea. So I credited Leeds, and he laughed at me, to be honest. In fact, they all did. They all said, "Oh no, Leeds won't
I thought
score."
that was a bit outrageous.
No,
I
we
didn't
were
say Leeds
saying
would
we would
score.
never score five.
Someone said, "Oh, Leeds won't score." Can't remember who it was. But someone said Leeds won't score. I went for them to get 2 goals, but
Probably Jaden.
underestimated them.
Yeah.
5 goals for Chelsea. They got 0. So maybe next week I'll bet against them.
I would like to point out with Ryan's
Well.
prediction, the difference between his prediction and the actual score was 7 goals. That is ridiculous.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well,
but honestly, I predicted 2-0 Chelsea, and I just figured Chelsea, they're just a better team than Leeds. They should be, but on the day they didn't perform. Leeds just outrun them, just like the Brentford players did to United the week before.
yeah,
And
I just
Chel-
don't think you can compare
Chelsea
those
were.
games.
You can, because
I think
Everyone was doing
one where you have a manager
Well,
versus
compare-
one where you don't have a
You
manager.
did have a manager.
Yeah, but he couldn't do anything because he
But-
was put to a seat and he couldn't talk
No,
to his players.
that wasn't that game.
Yes,
was
he
it?
was.
That's next week.
He was allowed there, but he couldn't talk to anyone.
Yeah. well, stop complaining. We know
Anyway,
you're upset.
complaining.
We know you're
No,
upset
game,
because you
good
Well,
got
it's
a
not been
Bayern.
rescinded until next week.
No,
That's still bad.
he was allowed there, but he couldn't talk to anyone for some
It's not-
dumb
it
reason.
doesn't
But I
change
think
anything.
Kuhn
The manager's
Wiley
shit.
got away
Even
with
if he
that
was
game.
there,
It's,
he would have lost
it's
5.
still the exact same. The Leeds players just outrun the Chelsea players. For every Leeds player, they won roughly 1k more than the Chelsea
Can we
players.
address Rodrigo as well? What has happened since
Yeah,
Rafinha's left? He's turned into
Top scorer. I think
Valencia,
he's just the
the
main man
mode that
now.
he was,
Like
yeah.
he's top scorer in the Premier League.
I think
he's
he's
looking very
seen-
good.
He's
All
seen
well
his
for
buddy leave to Barcelona and think, I've got to step into his shoes and be the main man for
I think
this
it's
league
with
side.
with Bamford being interested as well. He needs to step up,
Yeah.
and he has, which is crucial for Jesse Marsh as well.
real set up.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
so in the next
Brighton.
game, anyway, Brighton versus West Ham. Do we want the Brighton fans to
West
start
Ham.
I
off?
mean, I think it was an excellent game, really, because I think we got McAllister scored one from a penalty and Trossard got a goal himself. I mean, I went with 2-1 to West Ham. I kind of didn't really rate our side, even though I'm a Brighton
I
fan.
have the feeling you're happy you got that wrong.
Yeah, I'm very happy about the game because now we're I think we're 5th in the table,
Yeah.
which is
7
good
points,
football.
right?
Yeah, 7 points.
Very good start to the season for
Well,
Brighton.
whilst-
Ryan, what did you predict?
Whilst you went for a wrong result, I went for a correct result, but not the correct scoreline. I went for 2-1 to Brighton and Hove Albion. I believe that West Ham could have had a goal in that game, but Brighton did look very dominant from clips that I saw. Obviously, I was at work, so couldn't watch the whole game. But I always tend to back Brighton if I can, and I mean West Ham's never beaten them, so there was only one
I do
result
have
ever
to say,
for
I
me.
might have to start following Ryan and his Brighton predictions. He seems to keep getting them right.
Yeah,
It's
well,
kind,
Brighton.
kind of a bit weird going on there. Maybe there's a little secret
Graham
connection.
Potter.
Joe, what was your?
So I went for 2-0 to West Ham. So I got the
I did too.
the wrong
No, I
team.
didn't actually. No.
Wrong team. But yeah, Brighton
Yeah.
surprised everyone there.
Yeah, I went for a draw. I think they're both like in the category of the best of the bunch out of the teams not in the top 6. I thought it would be quite an equal game, end as a draw, but Brighton just better than West Ham in that game.
So Newcastle versus Manchester
The
City,
oil
possibly
derby.
a game which shouldn't be the case. Both teams should be sacked off forever, in my opinion. But
He does not like the Saudis.
yeah,
3-3, I
The Saudi
mean.
government's owning football teams.
So why don't you
but I'm
talk
not
about it
gonna- I'm
first,
not going to
Joe?
rant about that. It was 3-3, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it was an
Newcastle went
incredible
3-1 up.
game. It was a
What-
yeah. Well, my
what did you go
prediction
for?
was I went for 3-1 City just because
You did
City.
get 3 goals for City, to be fair.
Yeah, but it wasn't the right score, so it doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah.
But it was a great game. We watched a bit of it.
Personally, I did also predict 3 goals for City,
And
but
what about Trippier's free kick as well?
great
Beautiful
goal.
free kick.
I went for
Can I
3
I saw a stat the other day.
City.
Trippier has started something like he hasn't started that many games for Newcastle because he's been injured a bit, and he's already scored free kicks in like under 20 games or something for them. That's mental.
Yeah, that's
The guy's
insane,
just banging in free kicks.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, I also went for 3 goals for City. I went 3-0 to Manchester City. I don't think I took into account it was at Newcastle's stadium, and I just didn't expect City to not to be poor, but to be outplayed by Newcastle in some
Saint
sense.
Maximin was on fire.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't handle him. They
remember by the
had
end
to
of-
get 3
By the end
players.
of the game, they were like doubling and tripling
Yeah.
up on him, weren't
They had
they?
to
It
get
was
3 players
ridiculous.
around him. What'd you go
Well, I
for,
went
Tom?
with 3-0 as well in this game. I think it's a shock result, really. It's like in the Premier League.
3-0 to who?
City,
To
obviously.
City, yeah. I think that.
Could be Newcastle.
I think it's a shock result. You sometimes get that in the Prem what you really expect, but I think
I
St.
think that's
Maximin.
what makes it such a good league to
Yeah.
watch. You never
There's
know what to
competition with
expect.
all the teams, unless Norwich are in the
I
league.
mean,
but that's different.
Newcastle against some.
Unless you're
huge
playing
transfers,
Liverpool, and then you know it's an easy win.
Sort of a
But I think
controversial
it
statement.
was I would say a very interesting game
Yeah.
as
So-
a neutral, really. So
Yeah. Well, I'm actually annoyed that I didn't get this one right. So I was on the right lines
Yeah.
when I was doing this prediction. I was
Really
like,
annoying.
Newcastle, they were very good defence against Brighton last week. They didn't concede despite taking all the pressure, and they can go forward with like Almiron, Wilson,
Yeah.
St. Maximin,
They've got-
Guimaraes.
they've got a
They can
goal
go
for it.
forward, but I thought, you know what? They'll hold on. It'll be 0-0 most of the game. But I said City would just nick it at the end,
Yeah.
and they were lucky to end up nicking a draw
I
near
mean,
the end
that's
of the
all
game. in
good
the
and
end.
all, but you didn't really
I
get
know,
the
so I
correct
said I said
result,
1-0
so-
City, and I'm annoyed about it. I should have just backed the Newcastle with Pope and Botman really defending well. I should have backed the draw, but in the end I didn't. 1-0 City, I got that
I
wrong.
think it's fair to say there was a lot of talking points about the Monday night game, United versus Liverpool,
You
and
don't have to talk about that.
ending 2-1 to Manchester United. Who else predicted the United win? I did. Did any of you?
Yeah.
No, I went for 2-1 to Liverpool.
And Tom went 3-1.
I did type out 2-1 to United, but and
No.
then I went, no, surely Liverpool win. And then I was like, no, of course they're not going to win.
Alright, Ryan's waffling. Joe, you were doing on that predicted United to
United
win.
to
Why
win.
don't
I'm
you
waffling
go through
because
that?
I said Liverpool's not going
I
to
was
win.
very wrong about the goal score. I thought Ronaldo was going to get 4. So, let me
It
elaborate.
doesn't even start.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that at the time, did I? We did this ages ago.
You should have called
Um,
Ten up.
I went 4-3 to United because I thought both defences would be too bad for each other.
To be fair.
And also, I just wanted to be exciting, so I was just like, okay, let's go. And we've seen Ronaldo do this in the past, but I guess I'm severely thinking that he's gonna be playing
Traumatised from
every
when he
game.
got a hat trick against Tottenham last season.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Don't
you
say
got the
that.
goal deficit right. Only one
Only
goal
one
in
goal,
it.
but yeah, 4-3.
I wish Liverpool
It
had
was
scored
trying to be
3.
exciting, but I knew that United was going to win. But sorry, poor English, were going to win because A, it was at Old Trafford. B, I feel like they had nothing to lose. You've lost 2 games. You're expecting to lose to Liverpool. It doesn't matter. Whereas with Liverpool, they had so much on their shoulders. They knew that anything other than win would be embarrassing,
So much potential.
and
Yeah.
they lost. So
Now, Ryan, what did you predict then?
Oh well, went for 2-1 to Liverpool, and they let me down. Didn't only let me down. They let George down.
Well, they let a
their
lot
whole
of Liverpool
their
fans
whole
down.
Scouse fans
we
down.
should just like get a sensor and cover up your Liverpool logo.
That no.
Like the guy at the beach the other day, he's covered up the Man United logo,
Yeah.
flapping them off.
We do have a funny story about that. We were walking, playing some football at the beach, and we were talking about Man United's poor form. And this guy in a Man United shirt, not shirt, but a coat, walks past and he goes,
Covers it
he
up.
covers it up. He was very scared to be a United
Yeah.
fan, and I don't
I would
blame
be
him.
too before that game.
But I mean,
But now
Liverpool,
if you're very
poor.
proud now.
anyway, for this
Oh,
game, I
Let's
It
let Tom
was very
talk about his
poor.
point.
I mean, I went with 3-1. I kind of backed the Liverpool side, which I really should have after their poor performances in this Premier League campaign. But I think Liverpool have quite a few injuries in their midfielder. really.
Yeah.
Most of our players are
I think
injured.
Thiago's
If you
out.
looked at the bench for Liverpool yesterday, there was like half of the players you wouldn't actually know.
I
They
looked
were
at-
just
Yeah,
pitched from
yeah,
one
to be
to the
I looked
other.
fair,
at that
your-
and I was like,
your
who's
bench-
what's his name, like Clark or whatever? And I was looking at these people and I was like, I only know about 5 or 6. of them.
Their bench was poor, but
We
their
had no
starting
one to bring
11
on.
wasn't poor.
Even
to be
Jota
honest.
was injured. Like we didn't have anyone to.
Yeah, but Thiago is arguably their best player.
Yeah, but that doesn't change their starting 11 is 1 or 2 players away.
Again,
from being
I said it before,
their
and I'll say it
best.
again. I think Mane leaving was the biggest mistake that
I
Liverpool ever
actually
made.
have to agree with
Because
that.
that Salah going.
I think it's being shown now that Salah was he required Mane being there. Mane not only getting the assists, but working with him.
I don't think he required them. I think they both required each other.
They did.
So,
well, I haven't seen Mane.
Mane-
I haven't been paying much
I
attention.
think Mane would have still worked. He would have played as a striker. If
yeah,
Salah.
but I just think Salah, he's on so much money and he's not performing without his.
Look,
Even the goal yesterday was
Mane.
a fluke.
Yeah,
I say
I,
like the other one.
Did you see the
It was
Bruno
after,
Fernandes
Elliot
kicking it into
Carvalho
his own
did really
player
well.
Yeah, of course.
and then getting all angry, picking up the
Yeah.
ball? I have to admire that because
Well,
he's wasting time.
the thing
Obviously, he's not going to be happy with
is,
it.
he should have been sent off. He was already on a yellow, and the ref warned him like 4 times. The ref told him to put the ball back 4 times, and the ref needed to basically grow a pair of balls and just give him the second yellow and send him off.
No,
For me,
Fernandes
that was a
sent
straight
the
red for Fernandes.
to be
Yeah,
to
it
be
was
fair,
dissent
you
to the
have
ref.
to if you're not a Liverpool fan, you have to admire he's trying to waste time.
Yeah, but
Trying to
every Premier
preserve
League player
that.
does that.
That
That's
is
why
a red
goalies
card.
get yellow
It's a
cards.
red
already.
card.
Because the referee told him to give it back. It's just send
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'm not denying it's a red card
You can't
offence.
say, oh, I
But
didn't
he knows
hear
what
you.
he's
But the
doing,
ref
man.
was weak the
Yeah,
whole
he
game.
should have.
But a big
But-
talking point,
It
Jamie
wasn't a red. He
Carragher
got
getting
away with it.
annoyed
by
by
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. I mean,
But,
sorry about that,
on
Jamie.
a no talking point because there wasn't any conversation between them. But I think as a Liverpool fan, you've got to admit what is going wrong. right now.
That's not a good start to the season.
There are 2 points
at all.
after 3 games. How many points did you drop at the entire of that season you won it?
I mean, enough.
About
5,
7 or 8.
2030, the season we won it.
2030.
dropped.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
I worked it out once. The
20,
most amount of points you can get is 114. We had a high
Oh, he's
90s,
got-
so
okay.
about 20.
There you go.
Is that the most? But I mean, you've already
No.
Still
dropped.
at 2020.
You've already dropped almost 10.
Yeah, like the start of the season, we won the league. We won like the first 25 games, didn't drop any points,
Yeah,
and we've already dropped that many already. It's
dropped
not
7
looking.
already. So
It's
Who
not.
got dropped?
It's not looking good at the moment.
I do have to say a big shout out to Stormzy getting on Monday Night Football. I just have to admire them bringing on a bit
It's
more.
bringing up
we've got
completely
to
irrelevant points
apologise
anymore.
for his bullshit again.
No,
You're just bringing up
because
completely irrelevant points, Ryan. Please.
he actually, if you watch the after show, he brought up good points about Man United. How they no, it was Ten Hag that said this. So I do apologise.
What, Stormzy?
Not stop.
Oh my
Well, Ten Hag and
Are we
Stormzy.
getting?
Can we
Mix
just cut all
up.
this out?
But Ten Hag said they can play good football, but sometimes they don't have the desire to play good football.
Get out of his
Professionals,
head.
yeah.
Right?
They all ego players. They think they need to play the best games, even though they're not actually that good. But yeah, I predicted 2-1 Liverpool as well. I accepted the fact that we would probably concede. After conceding 2 to Fulham, then 1 to Palace, I was like, our defence isn't looking that good at the moment. Kanate, Matip, both
Van Dijk.
injured. Yeah, 2 Van Dijk's probably starting 2 partners, the 2 players you'd put first in the
Worst
pecking
centre-back
order
in
to
the
play.
league, question mark.
To play against him. Without them 2 there, like
Worst
Gomez
centre-back.
just looked. He almost lacked the desire, really, Gomez. And obviously, Nat Phillips, he definitely has the desire. He puts his head on anything, but he's just not that good. So
Well, you do have
Liverpool are kind of stuck for centre back. No one after you.
I
You've
mean,
waffled too
I
much.
think
No,
you've got to realise.
to. You do
one
have to
thing.
say
What's
Nat
Paul
Phillips.
Pogba doing in all of
Shut
this?
up. Nat Phillips. He doesn't have the talent though, does he?
No, that's what I said, Ryan.
Yeah, but you
That's what I
can't say yes. He's got the desire. That
That's
doesn't
it.
matter at
Right.
the end of the day.
Ryan, I literally
does it?
said Nat Phillips might have the desire, but he's not good enough. I literally said that. Do you
Yeah,
want to actually listen
But
before
why are
you
you
start talking?
waffling about Nat Phillips?
Right,
He didn't
but
play last
Because we
night,
were
did
talking
he?
about Liverpool's centre back options. Can we just mute him? Is that like an option?
I think we
He
need
did
to
Yeah,
wrap
but
play
it up.
last night.
Almost half an hour.
I
Last
think
5
we need to
minutes
wrap
has been
it up,
absolute.
surely, I think.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So,
It's because of this kid. He won't
yeah.
shut up.
go
What do you
from
mean?
there.
Let someone else
No.
talk.
I think
No.
we need to wrap it
John,
up.
David,
This
calm
is-
down.
This is getting like having a Barney on the camera.
But
bloody hell,
basically,
what's going on?
I predicted 2-1 Liverpool. I did accept that we'd probably concede. Obviously, wasn't expecting Van Dijk to just stand there and do nothing for Sancho's goal, but that's different.
Get that.
I mean, once Carvalho came on for Liverpool, he looked all right. Elliot looked decent the whole game, but the rest of the players just did not look that good at all. So
I'm
That's-
sorry.
yeah,
How can you say
United
Elliot
deserve
looked
to
decent?
win. And
Fabio Coppola, hey,
Um,
Ryan, can I
Hopefully-
just ask? All the professional football pundits in that studio were saying, "Oh yeah, Elliot's been
Wait,
one of
you
the only
watched the
decent
game?
players."
Yeah, I watched the game.
Elliot's been one of the only decent players in
They're
Liverpool.
probably
Do
saying
you
that
think
'cause he's
you're?
English.
Do you think you're better
always very, very biased.
clued
players,
in
aren't they?
person to talk about it than him.
Yeah, but I just don't think if a player's misplaced 3 or 4 balls
didn't,
in a
though.
row, you can't say he had
He
a
didn't
good
do that,
game.
though.
He did. Were we watching the same
To
game?
be honest, he might be alright, but I don't like him, so just...
Yeah, he did all right, and like you're obviously going to misplace some passes if the rest of your team's just doing nothing and doesn't look motivated. At least he was trying something. When Scavallo come on, he looked decent, couldn't do enough.
So
and in
Liverpool
the
might
end,
have had a
we lost.
shocker, but at least it wasn't as bad as Chelsea's game.
Yeah,
so,
it definitely wasn't.
I would say Leeds better than United right now.
Yeah, but yeah, Liverpool not do well. Very, very disappointed. The only one of the starting 11 that actually looks decent at the moment is Diaz, which I mean it's not much because he can't do it all on his own.
Well, even he's
yeah.
overrated.
What? You just think Kulusevski's like the best thing since sliced bread as a Tottenham fan?
Bloody hell!
Safely say he's better than Diaz.
Sorry, folks.
Anyway,
Bloody
That's
hell. Can we
should
stop?
we wrap it
Can
up?
we stop just having an argument, please?
You're the one who always
You're
butts
the one
in.
that started it. Alright, let's end there.
Better,
Hopefully that's
Yeah.
given you some education on that.
Little bit of debate club.
Probably
at the
knew
end.
more before we started talking.
Sorry about
But,
Yeah.
language.
Anyway, every
That's the end
little
of the
helps.
video. Remember to like and subscribe, otherwise Ryan will come eat all the food in your fridge. Remember, every little helps. See you next time.
Bye.